My name is Aurelia Bennett. I was 29 years old when I learned that sometimes the person sleeping beside you has already turned your kindness into a business plan. I was sitting at my desk, supposedly working from home, when my boyfriend Rowan's notification popped up on my phone. Going live now. Guide talk session. He thought I never watched his streams. He always told me they were boring lifestyle chats I would not care about. Usually, I didn't watch. I trusted him. I loved him. And for months, I had been planning the biggest birthday surprise of his life. A Tesla Model Tri. Pearl white. Full self-driving capability. $52,000. Rowan had been dropping hints since January. Not directly. Never directly. That would have been too obvious. He would leave Tesla videos playing on his laptop when I walked into the room. He would sigh when one of his friends posted a new car. He would talk about how unsafe his current car felt. Even though he drove a perfectly fine 2020 Honda, his birthday was in 2 weeks. And I wanted to make sure I had chosen the right color and specs, so I clicked the stream. What I heard changed everything. Okay, guys, Rowan said, leaning back in his chair with that smooth smile I used to think was charming. Remember when I told you about the Tesla situation update? It's basically in the bag. I've been working on Aurelia for months. My hand froze on the mouse. Aurelia, my name. I minimized my work screen and maximized his stream. His friend Felix was co-hosting beside him, grinning like he was watching a magic trick. Bro, tell them how you even convince a woman to drop that kind of money, Felix said. Rowan laughed. It was not the laugh I fell in love with. Not the soft one he used when we made dinner together, or the breathless one he had when I kissed his neck. This laugh was colder. Sharper. Like he was proud of himself for stealing something and getting away with it. It's all about the slow burn, Rowan said. You start small. You leave Tesla videos open. You mention your coworker's new car. Then you escalate. You tell her your car feels unsafe. Felix cackled. But your Honda is fine. Of course it's fine, Rowan said, rolling his eyes. She doesn't know anything about cars. I told her it was making weird noises. She took it to the mechanic. Obviously, nothing was wrong. But I said the mechanic must have missed something. The chat exploded. Laughing emojis. Fire emojis. Men calling him a king. People typing mastermind. My face went cold. That mechanic visit had happened 3 weeks ago. Rowan had looked genuinely shaken when he told me the car made a grinding noise on the freeway. I had left a client call early, driven across town, and paid for the inspection myself because I wanted him safe. He had kissed my forehead in the waiting room and whispered, I don't know what I'd do without you. Now he was laughing about it. The best part, Rowan continued, running a hand through his hair, is she thinks it's her idea. I've gotten good at planting seeds. I'll be on my phone and say, wow, Jason just posted his new car. Then I get quiet. She asks what's wrong, and I say nothing in that voice. You know the voice? They spent the next 20 minutes explaining manipulation like it was a craft. How to find a woman's weakness. Mine was apparently wanting to prove I was not selfish. How to make expensive gifts feel like emotional obligations. How to test boundaries with smaller purchases first. She bought me that $2,000 watch last month, Rowan said. Didn't even blink. That's when I knew the Tesla was possible. That watch? He had told me his late grandfather wore one just like it. He said it made him feel connected to family. I had watched his eyes turn wet in the jewelry store. His grandfather was alive and living in Oregon. Someone in chat asked, but what if she can't actually afford it? Rowan smirked. Oh, she can. Software developers make bank. And Aurelia has no spine when it comes to me. Plus, she saves everything. It's actually annoying how responsible she is. Like, live a little. I stared at the screen. I had been saving for our future. The house we talked about, The wedding he kept sending venue links for. The life I thought we were building. Watch this, Rowan said, pulling out his phone. I'm going to text her right now about the car making another weird sound. My phone buzzed. Babe. Car just made the scariest grinding noise. I'm actually scared to drive it. I watched him look back at the camera. Now we wait, he said. She'll probably leave work early to come check on it. I typed back with shaking fingers. That's concerning. I'll take a look tonight. Rowan frowned at his phone. Usually, she rushes over immediately. Whatever. By next month, I'll be in a Tesla. Mark my words. The order confirmation was still sitting in my email. I opened it slowly. Model 3. Pearl white. Full self-driving capability. Delivery scheduled 3 days before his birthday. For a few seconds, I just sat there listening to him keep talking. Then I took a screenshot of his stream, and I did something I had never done before. I started my own live stream. I had an old Twitch account I used for watching coding streams and gaming tournaments. I had never streamed myself. But I knew enough. The camera turned on. My face looked calm. Too calm. Hey, everyone, I said to 0 viewers. Something interesting just happened. 1 viewer joined, then 3, then 10. I shared my screen, showing Rowan's stream muted in the corner. This is my boyfriend, I said. He is currently explaining to his audience how he manipulated me into buying him a Tesla. The viewer count jumped. 20, 50, 100. Here's the thing, I continued, pulling up the Tesla order page. I already bought him one. Surprise birthday present. I've been saving for 2 years. The chat started moving faster. No way. Girl. Don't. Please tell me you're canceling it. I looked at Rowan's muted face on the screen. He was still smiling. Still performing. Still bragging about my weakness, like it was a coupon code. But since he thinks manipulation is the way to get what he wants, I said, let me show him another way this story can end. I clicked cancel. The confirmation appeared immediately. Full refund to be processed within 3 to 5 business days. My chat exploded. I opened another tab. Now, I said, let's put this money somewhere better. I searched for a charity focused on financial literacy and abuse prevention for young women. It felt painfully appropriate. Then I donated $52,000. The receipt appeared on screen. I blocked out my personal information and showed the pending transaction from my bank. Someone typed, Queen behavior. Another wrote, is he still streaming? I checked. Rowan was still live. Still talking. Now he was explaining how to make a woman think marriage was her idea. I looked into the camera. Should I rate him? The chat answered instantly. Yes. Yes. Do it. My viewer count had passed 1,100. Clips were already spreading. People were already finding Rowan's stream. I clicked raid. Selected his channel. My finger hovered for 1 second over the button, and then I sent everyone straight to him. The moment I hit the raid button, my viewer count disappeared and poured into Rowan's stream. I opened his broadcast on a second monitor and watched it happen in real time. His face lit up. Oh my God. He laughed. Huge raid. Thank you, streamer Aurelia, for the raid. Welcome, everyone. For about 5 seconds, he looked thrilled. Then he started reading the chat. His smile faded. His eyebrows pulled together. The color drained from his face. The comments were moving so quickly he couldn't keep up. She saw everything. Tesla canceled. She donated 52 grand to charity. You just destroyed your own relationship live. Manipulation exposed. Felix leaned toward Rowan. Dude. They're saying Aurelia was streaming. Rowan grabbed his phone so quickly, he almost knocked over his coffee. Mine immediately started vibrating. 1 text. Then another. Then 10. Aurelia. What are you doing? Answer me. This isn't funny. Please, pick up. I left every message unread. On his stream, Rowan forced out a laugh. I honestly don't know what everyone's talking about. The chat refused to let him escape. Someone clipped my cancellation. Someone else uploaded the donation receipt. Within minutes, viewers were posting side-by-side videos of his bragging, and my response, he tried changing the subject. So, anyway, let's talk about... No one cared anymore. Even his regular followers had started asking questions. Were you serious? Was all of this real? Did you actually manipulate her? Felix looked like he wanted to disappear. Rowan's confidence collapsed one sentence at a time. Without another word, he ended the live stream. The screen went black. I sat quietly in my apartment. For the first time in months, the silence felt honest. 20 minutes later, someone pounded on my door. I already knew who it was. Rowan stormed inside before I even stepped away from the entrance. His face was bright red. His breathing was uneven. What did you do? I closed the door calmly. I donated to charity. That was my Tesla. I met his eyes. No. It was a gift I intended to give you. A gift is voluntary. I changed my mind. He stared at me in disbelief. You ruined everything. I almost laughed. No. Rowan. You ruined everything. I just happened to do it in public. He shoved his phone toward me. His follower count was dropping so quickly, the numbers couldn't settle. Every refresh showed another loss. I'm losing everything. You mean followers? My brand. My reputation. My career? I looked at him for a long moment. So that's what hurts. Not losing me. Losing your audience. His jaw tightened. You embarrassed me. You spent nearly an hour teaching thousands of strangers how to manipulate me. You embarrassed yourself. I simply stopped protecting you. His expression changed. The anger disappeared. In its place came something far more familiar. The performance. His shoulders dropped. His voice softened. Aurelia. I made mistakes. It was entertainment. I exaggerated. You know influencers create characters? I remembered every vulnerable conversation we'd ever shared. Every promise. Every future plan. Every time he thanked me for believing in him. Now, every memory felt rewritten. You called me spineless. You told strangers exactly how to push my emotional buttons. You laughed about lying to me. His eyes filled with tears. If I lose everything... His voice cracked perfectly. What am I supposed to do? Months earlier, I would have wrapped my arms around him before he even finished that sentence. Not anymore. I had watched him explain on camera how to cry on command, how to pause before speaking, how to look down instead of directly at the lens, how to let one tear fall before wiping it away. He had given his audience a masterclass. Now I was watching him perform the same lesson for me. I don't believe you. The tears came faster. I love you. You love what I could buy. No, I just... He searched desperately for a better answer. I wanted nice things. I nodded. There is nothing wrong with wanting nice things. There is something wrong with building them on lies. His breathing became heavier. You don't understand the pressure. The internet expects a lifestyle. I had to keep up. So you decided my savings should pay for it. He had no answer. Instead, he reached for my hand. I stepped back. The distance between us suddenly felt enormous. You can't throw me away over one mistake. One mistake. You built an entire strategy. You practiced it. You repeated it. You celebrated it. That isn't one mistake. That's a lifestyle. He looked around the apartment. My clothes. You can come back after work? I'll help pack. I'm not leaving. Actually, I replied quietly. You are. He frowned. I live here. No. You stay here. Those aren't the same thing. My name isn't on the lease. No. My name isn't on the utilities. No. You have a dresser. A toothbrush. A gaming console. You don't have a home here. His face went pale. Where am I supposed to go? I hear Felix has a couch. That finally broke whatever composure he had left. He slammed his backpack onto the floor. You'll regret this. I folded my arms. Will I? You'll never find someone who loves you like I do. The sentence echoed through the apartment. For just a second, I almost believed the version of myself that existed yesterday. The woman who still thought love meant giving endless second chances. Then I remembered him laughing. Software developers make bank. She has no spine. Those words erased every doubt. I hope one day you learn what love actually looks like. It isn't manipulation. It isn't keeping score. And it definitely isn't teaching strangers how to exploit someone who trusts you. He picked up his backpack. For one final moment, he stood in front of me, as if expecting me to stop him. I didn't. He walked to the door. Halfway out, he turned around. This isn't over. No. I answered. It isn't. The door closed. The apartment became quiet again. I sat back down at my desk. Only then did I unlock my phone. Over 300 unread messages. Friends, coworkers, unknown numbers, even people I hadn't spoken to in years. Most of them had seen the clips already. The internet had moved faster than either of us expected. Within an hour, Tesla Guy Exposed was trending. Someone had stitched together Rowan's livestream with mine. Another creator had slowed down the exact moment his smile disappeared after reading the raid comments. Millions of people were watching our breakup, frame by frame. I should have felt overwhelmed. Instead, I felt strangely light. The weight I'd been carrying for almost 2 years had vanished without me even realizing it had been there. That feeling lasted exactly until Rowan uploaded a brand new video titled, My Truth. Rowan's video went live less than 24 hours after our breakup. The thumbnail showed him with red eyes and a solemn expression. The title read, My Truth, What Really Happened. I watched the entire 45 minutes because I wanted to know whether the man I had loved was still somewhere beneath the performance. He wasn't. According to Rowan, everything had been taken out of context. The livestream had been satire. The manipulation jokes were just comedy. The Tesla story had been exaggerated for entertainment. He insisted he genuinely loved me, and that I had cruelly humiliated him by canceling a birthday gift I had already promised. Then came the tears. The same carefully controlled tears. He even accused me of being financially abusive. The comments did not go the way he expected. Dislikes overwhelmed likes. The top comment read, So calling her spineless was a joke. But wanting the Tesla was serious. Another read, You explained the manipulation yourself. Nobody edited your words. People began digging through months of Rowan's old content. The deeper they looked, the worse everything became. Clips surfaced, showing him giving dating advice. Videos about getting expensive gifts without asking directly. Stories that suddenly sounded far less hypothetical. Then something unexpected happened. Felix went live. I honestly thought he would defend Rowan. Instead, he looked exhausted. I can't keep lying, he said. I was part of this. And that's on me. He admitted that Rowan had been doing the same thing for years. The Tesla wasn't some isolated incident. It was simply the biggest prize. Then, Felix dropped the bomb that changed everything. There was a spreadsheet. My stomach tightened. A spreadsheet ranking women, income, career, savings, personality, emotional triggers, likelihood of expensive gifts, potential marriage, potential long-term financial support. I stopped breathing. Hours later, the spreadsheet leaked. There I was. Aurelia Bennett, software developer. Estimated income. Savings. Excellent. Weaknesses. Needs to feel responsible. Avoids conflict. Parents divorced young. Fear of abandonment. Easy to guilt. I stared at the screen until the words blurred. My chest hurt. Not because strangers could read those things, because I knew exactly where Rowan had learned them. Late night conversations. Road trips. The nights I cried while telling him about my childhood. The day I finally admitted how terrified I had always been of losing people I loved. He had held my hand. He had kissed my forehead. He had promised I was safe with him. Then he wrote every vulnerability into a spreadsheet. Not as memories, as strategies. That hurt more than the Tesla ever could. My phone rang. An unfamiliar number. Hello. Aurelia. My name is Daniel. I'm a journalist covering influencer culture. He wanted the full story. Normally, I hated interviews. This time I agreed. Not because I wanted revenge. Because people deserve to recognize manipulation before it trapped them. I gave him screenshots, recordings, message, the full timeline. Nothing edited. Nothing exaggerated. Just facts. Within days, his article went viral. It wasn't about a failed relationship. It was about financial manipulation disguised as romance. That article encouraged other women to come forward. The first message came from someone named Vanessa. I dated Rowan 2 years ago. She attached receipts, luxury vacations, designer watches, thousands of dollars. He told me his business was about to explode if I just helped him a little longer. Another woman wrote that she had paid his rent for 6 months. Someone else funded an online business that never existed. Different women, same script, same promises, same emotional pressure. The pattern was impossible to ignore. Then, another message arrived. This one surprised me. It was from Rowan's mother. A simple texte, "Can we talk?" I almost ignored it. Instead, I called. Her voice sounded tired. Aurelia. I'm so sorry. I didn't answer immediately. She continued. Rowan showed us his version. We believed him. Then, someone sent us the live stream. Silence. I didn't raise him to treat people this way. I closed my eyes. I wish I could believe that. So do I. There was genuine sadness in her voice. I hope he gets help. So do I. We ended the call peacefully. For the first time since everything exploded, I felt a little less angry. A few days later, Rowan tried another strategy. He completely rebranded himself. His username changed. His profile picture changed. His bio now read, "Former toxic boyfriend, learning accountability, healing, growing, doing better." The internet wasn't impressed. People immediately compared his new content with his old videos. The contradiction spoke for itself. Then, another leak appeared. Someone found payment requests he'd been sending women while we were dating. $50 for relationship coaching. $100 for emotional support. $200 for private mentoring. He had monetized empathy. I almost laughed. If it hadn't been so disturbing, it would have been ridiculous. Around that time, I received another message. This one came from Natalie, one of Rowan's former girlfriends. We met for coffee. She looked nervous. I almost didn't contact you. I'm glad you did. She smiled sadly. When I watched your stream, I finally realized none of it was my fault. She told me about expensive birthday gifts, emergency loans, fake family crises, promises of marriage. Every story sounded painfully familiar. The details changed. The pattern never did. By the end of our conversation, she looked relieved. So I wasn't crazy. No. You were manipulated. So were you? She reached across the table and squeezed my hand. Neither of us said anything for a while. Sometimes understanding is quieter than comfort. Meanwhile, Rowan wasn't finished fighting. He appeared on a popular relationship podcast. The host welcomed him warmly. He came prepared with screenshots, messages where I had written things like, "I'd buy you anything. You deserve the best. Money doesn't matter if you're happy." Out of context. They looked terrible. People began questioning me online. Maybe she isn't innocent. Maybe she's controlling. Maybe he's telling the truth. For the first time since everything started, public opinion shifted slightly. I didn't panic, because I still had something Rowan had forgotten. During our relationship, we had shared a cloud photo album. He had never removed my access. Inside were hundreds of ordinary pictures, vacations, dinner dates, birthdays. But buried between them were private practice recordings, videos Rowan had made for himself. He was rehearsing conversations, practicing fake emergencies, timing his tears, coaching Felix on what to say during live streams, planning exactly how he would convince me to spend more money. Every recording carried a date. Every lie had evidence. I downloaded everything I was legally allowed to access. Then I made one final decision. If Rowan wanted to keep rewriting history, I was going to let history speak for itself. I spent an entire weekend organizing every file, Every video, every voice memo, every screenshot, every rehearsal Rowan had forgotten existed. I didn't edit anything. I didn't add dramatic music or flashy captions. I simply arranged everything in chronological order so anyone could watch the story unfold exactly as it had happened. Then I published a simple website. Nothing fancy. Just evidence. Within the first 24 hours, more than 100,000 people visited it. Relationship counselors shared it. Financial educators referenced it. Commentary channels reacted to it. Rowan's podcast interview disappeared within 2 days. The host quietly removed the episode without explanation. For the first time since all of this began, I stopped checking social media every hour. There was nothing left for me to prove. The facts were already speaking louder than I ever could. 2 weeks after everything exploded, the dust finally began to settle. Rowan had lost nearly 90% of his audience. His engagement collapsed. Every post filled with Tesla emojis, charity links, and reminders of the live stream that had changed everything. He tried moving to another platform. People recognized him within hours. He changed usernames again. It didn't matter. The internet never forgot. Felix disappeared completely. He posted one final apology, admitting he had encouraged Rowan because he thought it was harmless entertainment. He admitted he had laughed at women who trusted the wrong people. Then he deleted every account he owned. Months later, I heard he had gone back to school and quietly started rebuilding his life away from social media. I genuinely hoped he succeeded. As for Rowan, reality arrived all at once. His father insisted he repay every dollar he had accepted through deception. The total surprised even him, nearly $40,000. He couldn't pay it immediately. He started working full-time in his father's accounting firm, doing data entry, while paying everyone back through a repayment plan. Ironically, the Honda that had supposedly been falling apart during all those live streams actually developed transmission problems. A $3,200 repair bill. This time, no imaginary mechanic, no fake emergency, no emotional performance. His father simply handed him the invoice and told him to handle it himself. Life has a strange sense of humor. Meanwhile, my own life changed in ways I never expected. The live stream that began as heartbreak introduced me to thousands of people who had experienced financial manipulation in relationships. Women wrote to me from every state. Some had lost hundreds of dollars. Others had lost homes. One woman told me she finally ended a 5-year relationship after recognizing the exact tactics Rowan had proudly described. That message alone made everything worthwhile. Companies reached out asking me to become a spokesperson. Most of them wanted to capitalize on the viral attention. I declined almost all of them. Only one offer felt genuine. A nonprofit financial literacy organization invited me to help create educational workshops about recognizing emotional and financial manipulation. I accepted immediately. The same charity that had received the $52,000 later asked if I would join its advisory board. I said yes. Helping people heal felt infinitely better than chasing internet fame. I continued streaming. But not because I wanted to become an influencer. Most evenings I simply wrote code, answered questions, and talked honestly about healthy relationships. The community grew slowly, steadily. The people watching weren't there for drama. They were there because they wanted something real. Then someone unexpected sent me a message. His name was Mason. He worked as a senior software engineer at my company. We had crossed paths dozens of times without ever speaking. His first message made me laugh. I've been reading your code comments for 2 years. My favorite one is still, if this breaks, future me deserves an apology. I laughed out loud. Then he added another sentence. You handled that live stream with more dignity than most people could. We started talking. Coffee became dinner. Dinner became weekend hikes. Nothing about him felt rehearsed. Nothing felt calculated. He drove a 12-year-old Mazda with faded paint and nearly 200,000 miles on it. One afternoon I joked that we should replace it. He shrugged. It still gets me where I need to go. I smiled. For the first time in a long time. Simplicity felt beautiful. A few weeks later, another unexpected email arrived. Tesla had seen the viral charity donation They thanked me for highlighting financial literacy and offered me a heavily discounted Model 3. I appreciated the gesture. Then I politely declined. Instead, I bought a reliable used Mazda. The money I saved went straight back to the same charity. That decision felt far more satisfying than driving any luxury car. About 3 months after everything ended, I received a text from an unfamiliar number. I already knew who it was before opening it. It was Rowan. I know you probably hate me. I don't expect forgiveness. I'm in therapy now. I'm trying to understand why I became the person you saw on that live stream. I'm sorry. I really did love you. Maybe not the way you deserved. But it was real to me. I read the message twice. Then I locked my phone. I never replied. Some apologies deserve acknowledgement. Others simply deserve silence. Instead, I focused on something that could actually change lives. With the charity's help, I created a small annual scholarship, $2,000 each year. It would support young women rebuilding their financial independence after experiencing emotional or financial manipulation. I named the scholarship after the live stream that changed my life, not after Rowan. Not out of revenge, but because I wanted the lesson, not the person, to be remembered. Several of Rowan's former girlfriends and I stayed in touch. Once a month we met for coffee. Sometimes we laughed about the ridiculous excuses we had believed. Sometimes we cried over the trust we had lost. Mostly, we reminded each other that manipulation only works in silence. When people speak honestly, its power disappears. One evening my mother called. I watched everything. Isahil, I'm sorry. She interrupted me gently. No. I'm proud of you. You stood up for yourself. I wish I'd learned to do that when I was your age. Her words stayed with me. Maybe every family passes something down. Sometimes it's fear. Sometimes it's resilience. Sometimes it's simply the courage to recognize a pattern before it becomes another generation's burden. Looking back now, I don't remember the Tesla first. I remember the live stream. The moment someone I loved proudly revealed exactly who he was. The moment I finally believed him. And the moment I realized that the greatest gift I could give myself wasn't a luxury car, a perfect relationship, or a carefully planned future. It was walking away before manipulation became my normal. Some bridges are not meant to be rebuilt. Some endings become warnings that protect other people. And sometimes, the best birthday present you never give ends up changing your own life instead.